did a kind of getting started with F-class front rest video, and I covered, Seb and Lenzi and Rodzilla and 21st Century. And some of the questions that came out of that, both on YouTube and on Patreon, were, well, how about rear bags? The front rest is obviously important, but what about the rear bags? And I agree, the rear bags are very important. And in some cases, I would almost argue that the rear bag can cause you more problems and cause you to drop more points than a front rest. And rear bags are definitely a personal thing. Front rests, I would say, are a little more universal, but rear bags, it's really interesting when you talk to guys and kind of walk the line. You rarely see two bags that are the same. You might see the same brand, the same something, but everybody fills them a little differently. Everybody's got them positioned a little differently. Everybody's looking for something just a little different. And a lot of that has to do with how you get behind the gun, your body position, how you shoot, your body type, your body size. Um, there's so many things that go into bags. So I'm going to cover again. This is not going to be every rear rest that's on the market, but these are the ones that you will see 99% of the time on the line at an F-class match. And so I'll just show you, we're going to be going through the Dima bags. We're going to go through Edgewood, Bigfoot, Protector, Caldwell, Lenzi, and a couple Lenzi from a couple different places. And again, this is, I would say the majority of the rear bags are going to be one of these brands. And we're just going to start with what I'm currently using, which is the Dima rear bag. And you can see it here in the picture. And if we go to his store, go to the rear bags. He's got, and you're going to see this when we go to a lot of the different websites. There are tons of choices. And this is one of the things where I can't just tell you, well, you need to order this one because it just doesn't work that way. Everybody has a slightly different need for height. So there's going to be low, high. You can Dima, you can actually specifically order. Same with Edge. Well, I think Edgewood will customize. I know Protector will. If you need a specific height, like I've got a buddy that's got this high bag from Dima, but then he asked Dima to put an extra 2 inches on it, so it's got an extra thick riser on it. I know somebody else who wanted a really wide one, so Dima made a wider one. So and I'll go through with my experiences with each company. And here's what I will tell you. I have shot off literally every single bag here, and I have owned every single bag except for the Lenzi, but I have shot off the Lenzi several times. So I'm currently shooting off a Dima. I have a couple of them. I think I paid a couple $100. Yeah, well, I think they were on sale for $199 when I bought mine. But this one here is what I have, which is just the high rear bag. This happens to match my style of shooting, how I get behind the gun, and the front rest that I use. It just happens to be, in general, I think the best for what I need. You can see here he has this ultra high rear. I think he added that after he built my buddies because that was not here originally. The Dima comes with a carry handle built into the leather here. It's got a little level on it, and the level I do use, it seems a little, goofy at times, but really I do find that I use it quite often. And you've got your rear bag, you've got your ears here. Now the thing about, and I'm just going to click on this one to show you. The thing about Dima is, if you look here, he's got just all these different color combinations, and as long as it's a color he has, he will make any combo you want. So you can see there's all kinds of different color combinations. This is what I shoot off of. I shoot off an all blue one that looks like this. So that's almost identical to mine right there. That's my primary F-class one. I've got another one that I use for 22 bench rest, but this is my F-class bag right here. Ear spacing, because it's European, is going to be in millimeters. For a 5/8 rear keel, which is what my stock is, I use a 17 millimeter. If you have a rear keel that is more like a 3/4, which I want to say a lot of the Macmillans are 3/4 inch, but it's something I'm going to talk about here in a minute. But 17 and 19 millimeter are in F-class probably the two most common because it covers roughly a 5/8 and then a 3/4, and the 16 millimeter would cover if you have like a 1/2 inch keel. And that's really important that you understand the difference, because how your gun rides, let me see if I can pull up a better picture here, but if I pull up this here, how your gun rides down the middle and is sort of padded on the sides by the ears is really important. Now, There's different ways that people want their rear bags to work. I would say the majority of people want their stock to fit just perfectly in, just barely right on the bottom, and then be squeezed on the side. So that's where this tan tape right here that's sewn in, that is what your measurement over here is going to be, and that's going to be the case on pretty much every bag that we look at here. So if I order a 19 millimeter, it's going to be 19 millimeters here. Now, when these ears are full, they're actually going to puff up a little bit more. And I don't think he has any that are full on the website. Well, that's pretty full right there. But if you're looking at it sideways, depending on how full you make the ears, even though it's 19 millimeters down here, they can actually swell in a little bit and make it a little tighter. So again, that's where I say everybody fills these differently. Some people are going to pack this bottom and leave the ears a little loose. Some people are going to pack both of them really tight. Some people are going to use like a heavy sand in the bottom and a light sand in the top. They're going to use heavy sand in both. Mine is a majority of plastic fill, so it's lighter. And then I actually use walnut media in my ears. So I mean, like, it's such a varied personal thing. And I've used heavy sand before. I've used zircon. I've used garnet. I've used aquarium sand. I've used playground sand. I've had just about everything in my different bags, depending on the use that I needed it for. Now I travel a lot. I like a light bag. My bag weighs in at right around 7 or 8 pounds. Again, it's mostly plastic fill, and then I use walnut media in the ears, and I happen to find that for my purposes it works great. But you're going to really want to make sure that you know what kind of stock you have, what your measurements are, and you're going to want to talk to whoever you buy the bag from and let them know what kind of stock you have. If it's a really well-known stock, maybe you've got like a Cirrus or an X-Ring or a Macmillan or a Dima or something where there's sort of known measurements out there, then these bag manufacturers are going to better help you find a rear bag that fits perfectly. Otherwise, if you get a chance to take your stock, maybe it's a custom stock or something you picked up used and you're not really sure what the dimensions are or how it's going to fit, head out to the range, make friends with some guys, ask if you can try a couple rear bags to see how your gun fits and find out what they're using, and you're going to see. Now, I don't know, at least in my immediate circle, I don't know anybody who like bought and fell in love with the first bag that they ever used. I think most guys go through a progression of bags as they learn to shoot, as they change their shooting style, their shooting needs. I've owned a total of, let me think here, one, two, three, four, five, six. I've owned eight, I think eight different rear bags, and finally have settled on the Dima just because it has fit my needs. Now, it's possible a different Dima or a different bag at some point down the line might change that, but I've shot enough bags now that when I put a bag under my gun and I feel it, I just know what's right, and this happens to be what fits my needs. So going back to the Dima, you can choose different colors. He's got all of these options here, and I will just tell you, typically, if there is a color combination you want that isn't listed, you can usually email him. Dima is an amazing guy to work with. You're basically choosing the color of this piece here, then the middle, and then the ears. So any triple combination you want, and I suppose if you wanted different colored ears, you could do that. You could do that as well and have a different color up here. Um, I don't know. I mean, it'd be kind of funny looking, but it'd be unique, that's for sure. So you can see here, here's somebody that shows green, then white, then red, whatever you want to do. But he does have these kind of preordained colors over here that he's got. And Dima is just fantastic to work with. Now, let me point out something else, and I'm going to show you the same thing from Edgewood, and Seb also carries these, and they call them either a dead bottom bag or a donut. And that is this black piece that's under here. And I'm going to go back to his website here. So if I go to accessories, you're going to see down here that we've got, where is it? He must have moved it. Hang on. Okay, so it's on the stock. It's on this bag page. Okay, so here's these dead bottoms. And what this is it's a ring, and Edgewood and Seb both make these as well. It's a ring that you fill with sand, and then there's nothing in the middle, so it's literally a dead bottom. And the reason that you do that is a couple reasons. One, you'll see how the the rear bags kind of fit into this dead bottom bag here. One is so that if you're on slightly uneven ground, you can shake the sand because you don't fill these completely all the time. You can kind of shake the sand so that it's a little thicker on one side, a little lighter on the other. It can help you level a rear bag on uneven ground a little bit. And most of these bags are made, and it's really hard to show you. I'll see if I can find a picture, but most of these bags have a soft leather bottom on them, and that will eventually stretch and sag a little bit. So if you were to put it straight on the ground, it would rock a little bit. And I think Edgewood makes like a solid leather bottom that might eliminate the need for the rounded part of it. Protector might also make one. I can't remember. Um, but the bigger reason for me is just it gives it a really stable platform to rest on. I 100% would not shoot a rear bag without some kind of a dead bottom under it. And that's just me. And I know a lot of guys feel the same way. Now you can certainly shoot it just like this off the ground, and some guys do that. I wouldn't be caught dead without a dead bottom of some kind. I happen to. Um, it's built a little bit differently. I won't lie. I don't use a Seb, or I don't use a Dima, and I don't use a Seb dead bottom. I actually use the Edgewood dead bottom because it's built a little differently. And for me, I happen to like it, but I know other guys absolutely love the Seb and Dima style, which are both very similar. They're a little bigger and a little broader if you look here, and they just allow for a different fitment, or fit, I should say. For the rear bag to settle into. And for me, I've just been more comfortable with the Edgewood. So it's just a combination of products for me. You can see there are also smaller versions here that don't have the carry handle if you need to. So a lot of different options with the Dima. So let's go to Edgewood. Oh, here's the other thing I will say with Dima. He does not make any front rest bags. So a couple of the other manufacturers I'm going to show you do make bags for different front rests, but Dima is not one of them. So let's go to Edgewood. Now, Edgewood, you can see they have rear bags, they have front rest bags, and then they have accessories. So let me just show you his dead bottom bags here. So this is a bag spacer. I carry one of these at all times. It is just a hard, solid leather base. And if I need a little extra elevation, I will put it on top of my dead bottom and then I'll put it underneath my dead bottom, and then I will put my rest on top of the dead bottom. There are a few ranges that have a negative or downhill grade to them, and there are rare occasions I need to gain a little elevation. Uh, and then he also makes over there, he makes an elbow pad to help protect, and then just a hard hand rest if you need one. So that would go like in front of your joystick or something like that. If we go back to the front bags, you can see he makes a front bag, and I've seen him make. So if you look over here, he offers them for the Neo and the Farley, and then the Farley will also. I can't remember if it's the new Farley or the old Farley, but I think it's the new Farley will also fit the Rodzilla, because that's what I had on mine for a long time was the sandbag. But let's get to the actual rear bag. So he makes what he calls a mini Gator. He makes the Gator and then just an original. So the original is going to be the smallest, and it's optional here with the heights and then your bag spacing. And then you can get Cordura, which is just like this. And then I don't know if he shows it in this one, but see this material right here. So this is 3M super slick material, and a lot of guys like that because their guns can glide a little faster in it. I prefer more of like a heavy duty seatbelt or Cordura material now because it tends to hold up better, and I just put a little bit of Armor All. But this 3M is also incredibly resilient, and I used to just Armor All that as well. So it kind of just depends whose bags you order, but like if I ordered an Edgewood or a protector, I would get the 3M. If I ordered a Seb, I would get the seatbelt material. That's the only way he does it, but Seb does the seatbelt type material, and then the Dima just comes with its Cordura, and it's held up incredibly well for me. Then if we go to the mini Gator here, you can see. Actually, I think he does. Yeah, so that's the original. Okay, and then there's the mini Gator, and it's just a slightly different design, but again, comes in all of this, and then you can put some special instructions if you need certain ear spread. So these are the most common, but you can designate whatever you need. They are all made to order, from what I understand. Yeah, they're all handmade and stuff like that. So you do have to give it a little bit of time, but they are great bags. I currently own both a mini Gator that is this 2.5 inch short that I've used off and on for 22 shooting, and then I have a full size Gator that I picked up from an estate sale that looks like this that I also use for my 22 shooting on occasion. I don't use it really anymore since I have my Dima, but it is a great little bag, and again comes in a lot of different options here. So Edgewood, again, it's a great solution. He does a lot of things. He does these gators with handles, originals with handles. He does this red, white, and blue. This is the one that I've been using is the standard gator. He does a twisted gator, which this allows you to have the gun slightly offset. You can see here it's slightly offset from your shooting position, and some guys like to have their hand right in there so that they're not bumping the stock or anything. So that's just a different style. There's this tracker, um, which is just a different, you know, uh, a different style. I've never shot off this kind, but some guys like it. And then you just have these soft squeeze bags, so that some guys use them like in TR or just regular shooting or something where they don't want to buy a really expensive bag. And it just gives you the available ability to just kind of squeeze the bag and change your elevations. Like you can't really do that with some of these other bags. So Edgewood, again, really great company. I've dealt with them several times. I really don't have anything bad to say about any of these bags. I've spent thousands of dollars on bags over the years, and I've been happy with all of them. I just changed them for personal reasons. Let's look at Seb. So Seb offers two basic bags. I've really only seen one on the market. So there's the Bigfoot, and then he has his standard rear bag. So here's the standard rear bag. It's just smaller. It's got this little carry handle. I don't really see guys use these. Most guys that use a Seb are going to use the Bigfoot, which is this one. It's just a little more stable, a little bigger. I filled this one with heavy sand one time, and by the time it stretched and I was done filling it, it weighed like 24 pounds. I mean, it was just rock solid, but it's not really practical for travel. But I have done one of these. I've owned two or three of these Bigfoots in the past, and I've loaded them up anywhere, like I said, from 24 pounds all the way down. I actually had one that I had down to like 4 pounds when I did nothing but plastic fill. So you can do different things with them if you want. He does make, I don't remember if it's on his website or not, but they do have you can order it from Ernie, who's the U.S. distributor. And if you need to, there is a contact page right here. So that's Ernie, and you can send a request in here, or you can ask me below, and I can throw his email up here. But he does sell uh, a dead bottom bag to go with these rear bags here, and he offers his bags again like a 1/2 inch, a 5/8, a 3/4. He goes all the way out to 3 inch. So I mean, I've seen some really crazy rear bags for bench rest and stuff. But for F class, it's typically going to be 1/2 to 3/4 inch for the rear keel. These run, I think these are in the $170, $180 range right now, as of the making of this video. So they're pretty good value for what they are. And I know a lot of guys that shoot off of them and really like them. Um, so let's go to Protector. I've owned probably three or four different Protectors. This is their standard rabbit ear. Then you have the Bumblebee. So I've owned two different rabbit ears. I had one that was kind of like this little bunny ear, and then I had one taller. So I kind of went through this progression. In fact, one of these bunny ears, I think it was this 14A, was my very first rear bag that I bought, or maybe I bought a Caldwell first. I think I had a Caldwell bag, and then I went to the Protector, and then I went to the rabbit ear, and then I bought a Bumblebee. I think I bought this one right here, if I remember right. But Protector is another great company. It's all custom made. You can order just about anything you want, any length of ears, width, height, lots of adjustability in them. And I was really happy with them. I think at the time I got rid of them because I had bought an angled one, and I had an opportunity to buy a Seb Bigfoot at the time, and I switched over to the Bigfoot because it was a level eared system, and I just wanted to try something different. But I don't, again, nothing bad to say about Protector. They do a ton of stuff. I have to admit, I really like these pink and black ones. I've also seen some other custom colors that they've done, but they just do, I mean, a lot of the, no, there's the rear bag, so a dead bottom bag kind of thing, or bag stabilizer is what they call it. You can order with or without handle. So just like with the Edgewood, you can choose your spacing, your ear height, your bag fill. They'll fill it with heavy sand, light sand, whatever you need, and all of these are pretty customizable. So great company. I've called them. In fact, when the said Mini first came out, I had them make a custom bag, which I think they offer now as a regular. Um, so here's their front bags, and they didn't make one for the Seb at the time, so I took all the measurements and sent it to them, and they made me a custom front bag for the Seb, and that was pretty cool. So that you can get different front bags for different rests, and if you call them, if you have a rest that you're not sure of, you can call them, and they can tell you if they have something that will fit. But you can see they do a pretty wide range of front bags as well. They also do a lot of other stuff that I'm not going to get into, but the bags are what we're really covering. But they just do a nice. Here's all the custom front bags that they do also. So lots of stuff. Protector again, great company to deal with. Let's go to Caldwell. So I just cover Caldwell again because there's people who just need something simple. They don't want to spend a ton of money. Maybe they're just doing a sight in on their hunting rifles once in a while, or plinking away at the range, and they don't need to spend a ton of money. And to be honest, it's what I started with. This right here, this universal rear bag. This was my first rear bag ever. I very quickly went to the Protector just for a little bit more stability. But when I was shooting my Ruger Precision, this is what I started on, and I think it's like 30 or 40 bucks on Amazon, and it worked fine. They do some of these other front rests if you just need something simple at the range. They do these combos. Let's see, I've bought that. I've owned this one. I've had this rear bag, and I've had one of these hunter blind bags. I kind of tried a lot of different stuff depending on my needs. But for the money, they're pretty hard to beat if you only use a bag once in a while. So that's why I throw them in here. And then let's look at the Lenzi. So we talked about Lenzi front rests. Uh, I won't say obscure, but certainly less used than most of the front rests on the market. Same thing with the rear bags. You don't see them as often, but they are an incredibly well-made rear bag, just like you would expect. Now, this happens to be from what I'm doing is I'm just showing you a couple different U.S. sites. So Bruno's here. He does carry them in stock once in a while. In fact, he's got like a Blem one that's on his website right now. Let me see if it shows up. So like right here, he's got one in stock that's 250 bucks. It has a slight hole. It's sold as is, but he wouldn't sell it if it wasn't functional. He does sell the normal rear bags, and then there's other Lenzi rear bags that he does occasionally carry. And he also carries the Edgewoods over here as well. So just to show you. And then let me just show you PMA tools. So same thing. So PMA is going to have a little better assortment on like the front bags that Lenzi does. Lenzi does the stabilizer, dead bottom donut type bags like we talked about. Here's the rear bag, and then some of the other stuff here. So there's quite a few things that Lenzi does with the rear bags. He's got a larger selection. I've only ever seen, kind of his standard rear bag, but these are all kind of the same bags, just different spacing, 16 millimeter, 14 millimeter, stuff like that. And then he's got some of the other bags and dimensions there. Lenzi does replacement tops for the Neo, does replacement tops for the Farley. So on PMA here, you can see there's a lot of different Lenzi products for the bags. Some are in stock, some aren't. Again, it's little harder to get since it's coming from Italy, but like here's the Neo replacement front bag, and then here's the rear bags and stuff. So that just gives you an idea. But anyway, I just thought it would be good to go over the rear bags, and like I said, I can't say order this bag. It's a lot different than a front rest where somebody goes, well, the Mini works great for me, and you order it, and it's sort of one size fits all. Rear bags are very personal. I can almost guarantee you that you're gonna buy one bag and then end up selling it and getting something different, no matter whose bag you buy, whether you buy a Dima or a Protector or Edgewood or whatever. Um, unless you get really lucky and you're able to shoot off a bunch of bags that people are letting you borrow and really get a feel for how you shoot behind a bag, you're probably going to go through a couple bags, and that's fine. Like I said, I've been through at least 7 or 8 different bags, and it's just an evolution. So I hope this little tutorial kind of helps you at least kind of get some experience with the different F-class rear bags. And, I'm covering it more from an open side, but a lot of these bags are obviously applicable to TR as well. And, guys that are shooting at the range and anytime you need a really good, stable rear bag. So if you have any questions, hit me up in the comments below. Other than that, have a good one. We'll talk later.